Hello, friends, and welcome to Red vs. Blue News. Sci-fi author Arthur C. Clarke once said, "Two possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe, or we are not. Both are equally terrifying." And are we alone in the universe? We are taught that the universe is very old and infinitely huge. So you'd think there would be an historical record dating back thousands of years of meetings or even sightings of extraterrestrial or UFOs. But there really isn't, unless you consider the Sumerian alien theory or ancient stories about gods or goddesses to be part of that record. But if you don't, the only record we do have really starts in the 1950s. Is this because as soon as we went nuclear, we were essentially put on the galactic radar? Or is it because of our technology and smartphones, where we're able to record more, what many would still say are impossibilities? And ever since YouTube and smartphones, there's been plenty of footage taken around the world for either us, and especially the government, to look into. Well, on Sunday, Maria Bartiromo from Fox News had on John Ratcliffe, who served as Donald Trump's Director of National Intelligence. And he told her that the US has secret evidence of UFOs breaking sound barrier without a sonic boom. Listen.
Actually, is a program that's been in place for a few years in terms of a task force that has been there under the National Defense Authorization Act. But as you correctly point out, Maria, there's now a report that will be issued by the Pentagon, by the Secretary of Defense and the Director of National Intelligence. I actually wanted to get this information out and declassified before I left office, but we weren't able to get it down into an unclassified format that we could talk about quickly enough. But frankly, there are a lot more sightings than have been made public. Some of those have been declassified. When we talk about sightings, we're talking about objects that have been seen by Navy or Air Force pilots or have been picked up by satellite imagery that frankly engage in actions that are difficult to explain, that movements that are hard to replicate, that we don't have the technology for, or traveling at speeds that exceed the sound barrier without a sonic boom. So in short, things that we are observing that are difficult to explain. And so, there's actually quite a few of those, and I think that information is being gathered and will be put out in a way that the American people can see. We always, when we see these things, Maria, we always look for a plausible explanation. Weather can cause disturbances, visual disturbances. Sometimes we wonder whether or not our adversaries have technologies that are a little bit further down the road than we thought or that we realized. But there are instances where we don't have good explanations for some of the things that we've seen. And, when that information becomes declassified, I'll be able to talk a little bit more about that.
Can you tell us where it was seen?
Actually, all over the world. There have been sightings all over the world. And when we talk about sightings, the other thing I will tell you is it's not just a pilot or just a satellite or some intelligence collection. Usually we have multiple sensors that are picking up these things. And so, again, some of this are just they're unexplained phenomenon. And there's actually quite a few more than have been made public. So I think it'll be healthy for as much of this information to get out there as possible.
And what's been reported is that the 180-day deadline was part of a $2.3 trillion COVID relief bill that Trump signed into law in December. And this Daily Mail article says, the report, which is produced by the Pentagon and the intelligence agencies, must identify, among other things, any threats posed by unidentified aerial phenomena and whether they may be attributed to foreign adversaries. The article states that videos from the Navy were released last year through the Freedom of Information Act that showed UFOs moving at incredible speeds and performing seemingly impossible aerial maneuvers. One of the videos was shot in November 2004, the other two were shot in January 2015. The three videos were codenamed FLIR 1, Gimbal, and Go Fast.
Fucking drone, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. Echo 61 Tango, Roger, Roger. Oh, got it! Woohoo! Roger, there's troubleshooting. Did you box moving target? No, I took an auto track. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at it fly!
All 3 UFO videos were captured by Navy FA-18 Super Hornets. The videos were made public and published because of the efforts by the New York Times, as well as through the efforts by To the Stars Academy, which was founded by Tom Delonge, the founder and lead vocalist for the bands Blink-182 and Angels in Airwave. The article also states that a week before Ratcliffe stepped down in January, the CIA released a treasure trove of newly unsealed records. They showed chilling accounts of hundreds of UFO sightings across the globe dating back to the 1950s, along with international intelligence community's efforts to understand them. A dossier with nearly 3,000 pages of documents about unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, the government's official term for what they are commonly called UFOs, was published on the Black Vault's website. Thousands of paranormal enthusiasts poured through the collection of more than 700 individual documents, according to the Black Vault's founder, John Greenwald Jr., who has spent the past 2 decades suing the CIA to release the records and then scanning the pages into his database one by one. The CIA purports that the files account for its entire collection of declassified UAP intel, but Greenwald cautions that there's no way to verify that claim and has vowed to continue searching for further records. The documents also show correspondence about UFO sightings between CIA officers and members of the military. Sometimes the officials brush off the observer's story as purely superstitious, even when another explanation isn't clear. But in other instances, the officers show genuine concern that perhaps something dangerous is at play. I've been wondering myself about whether or not we have been visited by aliens, or if it's just super secret government tech that we sometimes get a glimpse of. Technology so rare that most fighter pilots are even kept in the dark about. And if it is just secret government tech, why talk about it now? Is it to get ahead of it because of all the sightings captured on video? Would they ever really want to admit it, especially with our enemies watching, so they could know what kind of futuristic tech our military has? Something about it just doesn't seem logical. Doesn't seem natural. It could be Project Bluebeam. Maybe not. I know I've definitely seen weird looking things in the sky late at night, like little orange dots that just fly around and then disappear. My friends have seen them too. Some think it's fallen angels, some think it's extraterrestrial, some think it's government tech like drones. What do you think? Comment below.